Hey guys, and welcome to the new episode of Automated Seller Podcast. This is a very special episode because I'm here just on my own. And basically, yes, after 39 episodes, so pretty much last year, since I started, I think it was March or April, I've recorded 39 episodes with 35 or 36 different people because sometimes we had double or triple episodes with certain guests. Anyway, in this episode, I just want to share with you what does it takes to record a podcast, how to do it, what are my key takeaways, and some statistics. I will tell you how it impact our business. I will share with you revenue. I'll share with you like all of the analytics, pretty much everything. So yeah, let's begin. So we are in 2024, and obviously I will be continuing with recording this Automated Seller Podcast. This is really one of the best things that happened to me, even though I'm not gonna lie, that was super hard from the beginning. But yeah, let's start maybe with the overall story. How did I even start? What was kind of the purpose of it, and so on. So I'll start like this. I mean, also something that I want to say is that this podcast / video, because if you are actually listening, you can also watch it on YouTube, is not scripted at all. I'm just doing kind of like a freestyle here. And yeah, first thing that I want to also share with you, I actually shared in the last episode already, but I will tell it again. We are in a new studio. That's true. We moved to the new office, and there will be a dedicated YouTube video studio room, right? Just to record videos and a podcast episode and so on. So far, it's empty, as you see already here. You can also see in a mirror, actually, not mirror, but in the windows, that it's basically reflecting that it's empty right now, but I already ordered some stuff, so we'll be improving this room. And yes, thanks a lot to all of you who made it possible. Obviously, without you, it couldn't be possible. So if you're listening, if you're our client working with Delta Logic, or if you just support us overall, thanks a lot, guys. And yes, let's begin with the information. Why did I even start the podcast? So we have to get back to last year. I think that was March. Me and my business partner, Chris, we actually went for the first time to United States of America for the conference called Prosper Show. Basically, Prosper Show is a conference where you can meet a lot of businesses that are selling on Amazon, Walmart, and other marketplaces. Those are tech businesses, but not only. There are actually manufacturers as well, and a lot of service providers, everything around marketplaces, right? Like logistics, fulfillment. Then you have a lot of like agencies that are actually doing everything around Amazon. I mean, a lot of Amazon agency owners actually were on this podcast, and also like a lot of tech SaaS companies owners, they will also actually hear. And yeah, this is basically the show. This is where you can meet all of those guys. So me and my business partner, we went there because we are starting to get into the Amazon community and to get leads, to get business, right? I mean, we wanted to build as many projects as possible in this space. So if you follow me from before Amazon and marketplace business, like we are running our software agency, and we were doing projects around automotive industry, logistics, manufacturing, relocation. Like we were doing a lot of different projects, and our dream from the beginning was really to focus on one industry and provide people around this industry with a tech to build them solutions. Because from very early on, we knew that since the market is so oversaturated, there's no longer really any room for another software house or dev shop or software agency. Like there are different naming conventions. So yes, we were trying different niches, didn't work out. So our third or fourth pick was actually marketplaces, especially Amazon. And as you see, it clicked, it worked out. And yes, Prosper Show was basically one of the first that we went to meet the people, meet potential clients, and so on and so on. So there were a lot of booths. And we've been to a few fairs before, like very popular ones like Web Summit. We went to some logistics fairs, And we are trying to sell our services, meet potential clients, and so on. But it's hard. It's super hard, right? So it was the same actually in the Prosper show in the US. We're trying to go to people and pitch our agency, our work, basically building custom tools for Amazon sellers, vendors, agencies, and so on. And pretty much not many people wanted really to talk with us, right? I mean, we are just coming to those companies with booths, and obviously they are standing there because they want to sell their services, right? So they have no interest at all to talk to you. And we kind of came with this idea that I should simply record the podcast, right? Like start the podcast, and to start a conversation, I should invite those people to podcast and see how they react, right? So we did it a few times, and actually from just Prosper Show, I think we got like 10 or 20 people on a podcast. So me and Chris, we split and went to different directions on this conference, and basically we are inviting people for this podcast, which didn't really exist. I think I had like one video that I turned to the podcast basically with Phil from PLC agency, vendor agency from Germany. And this is how it was really created. I just started recording. And yes, obviously in the beginning it was super hard to keep the conversations, to ask right questions, to even prepare and record it and so on. Like I didn't know the whole procedure, because if you want to record one episode just from scratch, if you've never done it, then this is actually quite complex task to do, even like post-production, have a good equipment, recording studio, and so on, right? So this is how it started. And from there, once we were getting more and more people on the podcast, it kind of got like this network effect, right? Like more people saw that other people are getting on a podcast and they also wanted to get. And at this point, like we are getting emails with people asking us, right, if they can join a podcast or if I can join and speak on other podcasts. We've been going to other conferences and basically always trying to get to know other founders and basically people in a community and invite them here and talk about their businesses, talk about our businesses. So that's how it started. That's how it is right now. And when it comes to benefits, there are a lot. So definitely recording podcast episodes, it definitely makes it super nice to connect with companies, make a little bit better partnership in my opinion, right? Like if you're a partner manager, you're probably sending those emails to some companies trying to get and do like a partnerships between companies, maybe share some leads, but just from my experience, it barely works. But if you actually invite someone on the podcast and talk for 1 hour, this really does a job. Like you feel really connected to this person. And I had the situation where I've invited some people on the podcast. I went to another conference also in the US, and I simply could go to those guys and say, hey, hi, right? They knew me because we recorded a podcast together, so we had a common topic, and they could introduce me to other people in a network, in a community. So this really worked out, and I definitely recommend everyone who's running a business to start some kind of podcast, right? Another thing is obviously one of the most important things is to educate people, share knowledge with the audience, right? So this is a win-win scenario, because if I'm getting some expert on my podcast, we are giving a lot of value about certain topics that this expert can provide. And at the same time, they see me that I'm actually talking with this person, so they see me also as an expert, might be in a different thing, like in this case, in the Amazon community, software, selling partner API, advertisement API, building tools, building SaaSes, right? And even though I've never sold anything on Amazon, when people see me talking with other Amazon expert, they immediately connect the dots, right? So this is a really great for the business. This can really make your life easier when it comes to getting to the certain industry, to the certain community, trying to get the leads, because we also got some business out of the podcast, some leads, some recommendations. So yes, this really played well. And obviously we shared a lot of really great lessons about selling on Amazon, about businesses around Amazon, like accounting, like how it's called? I mean, accounting, running the advertisement agencies, running vendor agencies, everything from being like a small seller to 7-8 figure sellers, running your own warehouse, doing localization, I think it's called, right? I mean, when you are running your marketplace business in multiple countries and you need to translate your listings. This was also like super interesting episodes. So yeah, definitely that was super great, and we are continuing to do this year. There was few episodes where I also brought our CTO, and we had like very technical topic conversation about advertisement API, selling partner API, and different solutions that we built from scratch. And yeah, now I would say that we should jump maybe to some numbers, some statistics. They are not crazy, but they are something, okay? So those are the podcast analytics. So 130 zlotys, those are like $40, $30, something between those. We have 360 hours, 6K views. This is not crazy, right? You can drop one YouTube video and have like 10K or 20K, but again, it's fine. I mean, we just started. We've recorded it'll be 39 episodes. This is 40th. And from this, I'm actually really, really happy with the results, right? Because those are very specific podcasts. They talk about very hard topics, very hard problems, and also some of them, they are in a very saturated space. So in my opinion, this is great. This really helped connect with many people and, put our name out there. Actually, Automated Seller Podcast right now is known in a space, like there are people who knows it. So I think for the first year of running it, not even first year, because the first year will be in March or April, so almost 1 year. I think this is a great result. So we are obviously continuing. Now, when it comes to episodes, the best one is actually with Matthew from XMars. So as you see, we have 500 views. That was about the managing Amazon advertisement with the AI. Then we have with Dustin from Better IMS about the Amazon APIs. Then we have with Phil from the PLC agency. We built a tool together for vendors. That was really cool about the actually Amazon vendors versus sellers. Then we have with Mansur from Incrementum Digital, also PPC. Then we have with Scott Needham from Smart Scout about building custom tools. I was also on his podcast, and that really worked out. And as you see, we have more and more, and that was great. What else can I share? I think I can share here and Transistor. So I'm using this tool which actually distributes podcasts across all of the streaming platforms. And what's interesting is, as on YouTube, I have my subscribers. I have some base audience, so obviously my listeners are also my subscribers. They know about it when I drop a new video. When it comes to other platforms, I didn't have any accounts, right? So I've never done anything. And basically just from nothing, it created podcasts across like Amazon Music, Apple Music, there's like Spotify, there's like a lot of different podcasts. I think if we go to where is it? Overview, distribution, maybe. Yeah, here you see like Spotify podcast, Apple podcast, Google podcast, Amazon Music, and so on and so on. Like there's a lot, and basically I'm almost everywhere. Yeah, we got some people, like some views, and overall we got like 329, which is, again, this is not much, but in my opinion, this is something, right? Like we just put those podcasts there basically without any hassle, without any problem, because I was doing it on a YouTube and we just got views there. And then as you see, like there are more and more views coming from different places around the world, mostly from US, but also like Europe, right? Some India. And yeah, I'll be just posting here as well, since it doesn't cost me anything. And yes, I think this will be very short episode with basically some lessons and so on, that and insights from running the podcast for almost 1 year. One thing that I can also talk maybe are the results, which I already said, right? But yeah, overall, like, yeah, this revenue is nothing that we did on YouTube, but we got some leads. Like we actually got some leads, and then some of those leads, they turned into the projects, right? So I don't think it will be, I wouldn't say it's $100K, but could be 30 to 50K dollars actually made just out of those deals, right? From podcasts on different automation projects regarding like a selling partner API and advertisement API. So that's definitely something. In the end, we also have profit out of that. So I can say that doing this podcast really worked out, and we are continuing on inviting more and more people. So if you're watching this, if you're listening to this, and you are actually in the Amazon space, maybe, or Walmart space, or any other marketplace space, like running your agency, having your SaaS, doing accounting, or anything related to marketplaces, and you want to be on a podcast, let me know in the comments. I will be happy to record a session with you. I will be happy to host you here. And yeah, thanks a lot for listening. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Short message that I have for you is that soon there will be actually a full YouTube video about Office Tour. So stay tuned for this as well. And as always, thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.